I lost my father very early in my life, right? I was 16. A member of my family took some loans from these new age apps that he would have seen, right? Who would give like 50,000 ka loan, 1 lakh rupees ka loan, whatever. So that loan amount turned out to be about 2.5 lakhs with an interest of about 17-18%. And I'm paying it all. When I initially started working as an intern, I was getting 13,500 in hand.
Currently, आप जो बैंक में काम करते हो, what is your pay as of 2023 October?
My overall compensation is around 23.5.
हेलो एंड वेलकम टू अ न्यू एपिसोड ऑफ फिक्स योर फाइनेंस। हमारा दिल्ली टूर शुरू हो गया है, दिल्ली एनसीआर टूर। हम करंटली गुड़गांव में है एंड आज मेरे साथ है 29-year-old कृतिश जो एक बैंक में काम करते हैं। वेलकम टू द शो। वेलकम टू फिक्स योर फाइनेंस।
Thanks.
How are you,
It's a
Kratish?
pleasure. I'm good, yeah.
आप क्या करते हो?
I look at marketing and growth.
हाँ, तो मार्केटिंग में क्या देखते हो आप? डिजिटल देखते हो, ऑफलाइन देखते हो?
So at present, मैं mostly digital. I look at organic growth of a product. अगर हिंदी में समझाएं तो कस्टमर कहाँ से आ रहा है
अच्छा,
और वो कैसे आ रहा है,
समझ गया।
और अगर रियलिटी की बात करें तो बिना पैसा खर्च किए हम कस्टमर कैसे
ऑर्गेनिक ग्रोथ।
आप
मुझे एक चीज बताओ, आपने पढ़ाई क्या की है?
इंजीनियरिंग
या नो मार्केटिंग डिग्री?
नो मार्केटिंग डिग्री ऐसा।
ठीक है, तो आपका करियर क्या था? मतलब आप 29 के हो, व्हेन डिड यू स्टार्ट वर्किंग?
I started working in 2016. I would be about 22.
राइट आउट ऑफ कॉलेज?
Right out of
आपका
college.
फर्स्ट जॉब क्या था?
I was working in a marketing agency.
आप स्टार्टिंग से ही
Starting से I started working in a marketing agency. So basically that happened because of an internship.
ओके।
So in my final year of college, I interned for Audi through a marketing agency,
अरे वेरी नाइस।
and I really liked the whole world of marketing.
फिक्स योर फाइनेंस में शायद ही कोई मार्केटिंग फील्ड से आया है, ठीक है?
Okay.
तो आप ये बताओ, व्हाट आर द पेज लाइक इन मार्केटिंग? सो लाइक अ पर्सन स्ट्रेट आउट ऑफ कॉलेज 2016 में आप कितना कमा रहे थे आपके फुल टाइम जॉब में, इंटर्नशिप में नहीं?
In my full-time job, so there are two parts to it. There is a brand side and there is an agency side.
ओके।
Agency are the people जो content usually create करते हैं या फिर marketing में in terms of branding करते हैं, outside hoardings लगाते हैं, creatives बनाते हैं,
हाँ।
and that usually pays less than a brand.
Okay.
Brand might be a bank or whatever company you might call it, a Zomato or a Swiggy or whatever. When I initially started working as an intern, I was getting 13,500 in hand. 15,000 था, 1,500 कट रहा था।
हाँ हाँ।
और उसके बाद when I started working full time, that converted to 30,000 full मतलब पे, जो कट कटा के 26,500 27,000 के आसपास।
आपने जैसे बोला कि ब्रांड्स पे वेल बट एजेंसीज डोंट पे वेल,
Yeah.
बट फ्रॉम अ करियर पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू व्हाट वुड यू सजेस्ट? एजेंसी में काम करना चाहिए कभी भी कि ब्रांड्स के साथ ही काम करके रहना चाहिए?
I believe 100% एजेंसी के साथ काम करना चाहिए. Even if it is a 2-year stint or 3-year stint, you get to learn the real brunt in an agency. Because problem ये होता है, एक ब्रांड में आप काम कर रहे हो, उस ब्रांड के पर्सपेक्टिव से सोच रहे हो. आप एक एजेंसी में काम कर रहे हो, आप 4 ब्रांड्स को हैंडल कर रहे हो, चारों के मिशन विजन सब कुछ अलग होएगा. जब इतना ज़्यादा एक्सपोजर होएगा, you'll obviously learn a lot and you'll grow a lot.
करंटली आप जो बैंक में काम करते हो, व्हाट इज योर पे एज ऑफ 2023 अक्टूबर?
So in hand 131 से लेके 136 के बीच में.
ठीक है, और आपका टोटल कॉम्पनसेशन क्या क्या कितना है एंड व्हाट आर द वेरिएबल्स?
Okay, so in my compensation, variable is not added. It's all fixed.
Okay.
A variable is another up to 10%, 20% bonus depending on performance in an entire year. So this year, of course, we did get performance bonus. And my overall compensation is around 23.5-24. Yeah.
आपके केस में इमरजेंसी फंड है?
Savings account में नहीं है. It's in the form of mutual funds.
इक्विटी म्यूचुअल फंड?
Equity mutual funds.
अच्छा, ओके। आपने इमरजेंसी फंड का आपका कैलकुलेशन क्या है ये बताइए?
Enough to sustain 3 months.
3 months, enough to sustain as in you and your dependents, everyone. So that must be around 2.5
Yes.
lakhs. Why equity mutual funds are not safer vehicles?
Because I'm just being greedy because of the returns. Another thing is I have a credit card which has a good limit of 3 odd lakhs. So hell breaks loose, I have that to bank on and I can figure out money, withdraw it from a mutual funds or wherever I have invested.
मेरे मानने में अगर आप नया इमरजेंसी फंड बना रहे हो, पूरा का पूरा पैसा आपको नहीं डाल देना चाहिए एक्विटी में. रीजन बीइंग द रिटर्न्स आर नॉट गारंटीड, राइट? इन म्यूचुअल फंड्स द नेट एसेट वैल्यू fluctuates on an everyday basis, and emergency के केस में भी कब आए पता नहीं चलेगा. It's an extreme scenario, but अगर आपको 2008 जनवरी में या फरवरी में आपको पैसा निकालना होता, अगर आपका पैसा म्यूचुअल फंड में होता, यू वुड हैव नो ऑप्शन बट टू विड्रॉ दैट मनी एट अ 40% लेसर वैल्यू। हाँ, रिटर्न्स कम मिलेंगे, बट अगर कोई भी इमरजेंसी फंड बना रहा है उसको इक्विटी में मत डालो, उसको आप सेफ जगह पे रखो। दैट फंड इज नॉट देयर टू क्रिएट वेल्थ फॉर यू, दैट फंड इज देयर सो दैट इट क्रिएट्स अ वॉल फॉर यू which will protect all your other investments. Cool. So this is one thing you are saying, आपका emergency fund है। दूसरी चीज है health insurance.
Yeah.
क्या आपके पास एक health insurance है?
हाँ।
कितने का health insurance है?
10 lakhs plus top up.
क्या आपकी family के members के पास health insurance है?
हाँ, मेरी मॉम का health insurance कराया मैंने।
और
भाई का हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस अभी तो नहीं है, आई बीन थिंकिंग अबाउट इट, वो भी करूंगा।
तो आपको अपने भाई के लिए हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस खरीदना ही पड़ेगा, उसके बिना नहीं जा सकते। इट्स मतलब द फर्स्ट एक्सपेंस दैट एनी पर्सन हैज टू डू इन लाइफ once they are responsible for themselves is to buy health insurance for yourself and the entire family. Guys, अगर आप लोगों के पास भी health insurance नहीं है, please ले लो। Fix your finance अगर आप लोग देख रहे हो, right? तो you know that there is a trifecta, right? That's of personal finance. Number 1, health insurance, emergency fund, and the third, which is very basic, spend less than what you want. ठीक है? तो ये 3 चीज़ों आपको करनी ही पड़ेगी अगर आप अपना health insurance खरीदने का सोच रहे हो या फिर change करने का प्लान कर रहे हो। Ditto is a very good site, ठीक है? It's a website wherein you can buy health insurance and it is 100% spam free and Ditto के advisors है जो आपको कॉल पे आएंगे और आपको समझाएंगे कि आपके लिए कौन सा हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस बेस्ट है। सो बेसिकली दे विल एडुकेट अबाउट हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस एंड दे विल ऑल्सो टेल यू कि आपकी रिक्वायरमेंट्स के हिसाब से कौन सी चीज ले सकते हो। तो जब आप अपने भाई के लिए हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस खरीदोगे ना, तो उनके साथ कंसल्टेशन कॉल तो कर देना डिट्टो वाला, और साथ ही में उनका वेबसाइट देखना। उनके वेबसाइट में बहुत सारे टूल्स और रीडिंग्स है, ठीक है, जैसे हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस का चेकलिस्ट, एंड देयर आर ऑल्सो ब्लॉग्स अबाउट कोपे, रूम रेंट, जो भी आपको हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस के बारे में इंफॉर्मेशन चाहिए ना, वो सब डिट्टो के वेबसाइट में ऑलरेडी है। तो जब आप डिट्टो से हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस खरीदोगे ना, तो दे विल हेल्प यू विद द एंटायर डॉक्यूमेंटेशन प्रोसेस विच इज मोस्टली टाइम कंज्यूमिंग, टैक्सिंग एंड बोरिंग, ठीक है। वो आपका हाथ पकड़ के आपको लेके जाएंगे, एंड जब क्लेम की बात आए देन ऑल्सो द डिट्टो टीम विल हेल्प यू विद द एंटायर प्रोसेस। सो इफ यू आर लुकिंग फॉर हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस प्लान, यू शुड डेफिनेटली चेक आउट डिट्टो। द लिंक ऑफ डिट्टो is in the video's description. Perfect. तो ये तो हो गई आपकी इनकम की बात। अब आपके एक्सपेंसेस की बात करते हैं। क्या आप गुड़गांव से ही हो ओरिजिनली?
नहीं, आई एम फ्रॉम लखनऊ।
ओके, तो सीतापुर, ओके। तो सीतापुर में आपकी फैमिली रहती है, आप इधर
फैमिली रहती है,
ठीक है। हाउ मच रेंट आर यू पेइंग फॉर दिस प्लेस?
So for this place I am paying 20,000,
okay,
which doesn't include food.
Okay.
So for food, I usually end up paying another 6,000 to 8,000 in a month. That includes my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And cleaning, etc. I mean, housekeeping is included in the rent that I'm paying here. So that's not an addition.
This is like a co-living situation.
This is a co-living
situation, right? ठीक है। तो आपका जो 20,000 रेंट है, उसमें क्या क्या चीजें कवर्ड है?
Housekeeping and the rent for the room. So
Wi-Fi,
no, because the speed is very low, so I've got another Wi-Fi setup for me.
ठीक है। You also said that you shifted here recently.
Correct.
तो इसके पहले आप कहाँ रहते थे और उधर का रेंट कितना था?
Before moving to Gurgaon, I was living in Bombay for till 2020. Of course, with COVID, I had to move back to my city. Lived with my parents for about a year or so, and then moved to Gurgaon. A lot happened. I mean, I learned a lot in that time in terms of managing my assets and how I have to rent a place, right? So what I had done in Bombay was I had taken a unfurnished flat, right? Because it was cheaper, and I had purchased stuff. So I had taken a 3.3+2 sofa. I had taken a bed and mattress. I had like furnished my house, taken all things of kitchen. Full 1 BHK घर बना लिया मैं। COVID हुआ, and of course मैं ऐसे time
किया था कि EMI
savings. So when I was moving out, there was no way I could have taken all of this back, and I wasn't even sure that I'm coming back to Bombay, moving to anywhere else. So it was very uncertain. But I had to vacate the flat because I was paying rent for it. So I took all of these packers and movers and storage spaces had opened up, right? They were taking things and stuff. So ऐसा ही एक space I had figured out. And I moved all my house stuff, just took one bag out from there, which had my clothes.
Yeah.
Everything else, wardrobe, kitchen, सब कुछ, I had fridge,
पूरा
washing machine, move कर दिया,
स्टोरेज में डाल दिया।
1 महीने बाद एक वीडियो आता है, सब तैर रहा है। So every single thing was gone into toss.
Oh my god, okay.
So
wait, did that storage have some kind of an insurance policy
Nothing
or
at all.
anything?
Nothing at all. So I got paid nothing. I didn't even bother to go and take that भीगा हुआ सामान back. क्योंकि कुछ बचा ही नहीं था उसमें.
Yeah.
So fine, lesson learned. When I moved to Gurgaon, I was very, very sure of one fact, that I'm not gonna purchase anything. I'll rather buy a furnished flat, maybe pay 24,000 for a year extra, 2,000 rupees per month, maybe pay that much.
Understood. This is your, after this personal experience, I'm sure this will be the new mindset.
Yeah, and I want to keep myself mobile also, right? I don't want to restrict myself to a space. So tomorrow if I get an opportunity to move to Bombay or Bangalore, and if that excites me, I don't want to push myself back by, you know, that कि मेरा पूरा घर यहाँ बन गया है, मैंने सालों से इतना घर बनाया है, मैं कैसे move करेंगे? You get attached to things, right? So I don't want to let that happen to me.
This, like, being frugal, like, you know, gives you a lot of freedom. Like being light on materialistic things gives you a lot of freedom in terms of your ability to move, right? ये जो बात बोल रहे कि मैं अगर कोई अच्छी अपॉर्चुनिटी आ गई उनको मुंबई में और उनको अगर 15 दिन में जाना पड़े, he can go because he does not have a lot of things, a lot of shackles which will hold him back. फिर you are a bachelor living in a happening part of the city, right?
Yeah.
तो क्या आपके वीकेंड्स और बाहर जाने के खर्चे होते हैं?
अरे नहीं यार, अब I mean होते हैं, but not that much. I think it has reduced quite a lot, and it's not because of anything else. Just I think I've grown up in life, so I prefer mostly utilizing my weekends to sit chill.
तो फिर बाद में how much is your going out expense?
Once in a month, I would say, and if I go out once in a month, I would end up spending about 6,000.
Do you order in very frequently?
Not anymore. I used to. I think in a couple of months in the past, I've become conscious of this fact.
So this 6,000 to 8,000 is included. Includes the cost. ठीक है. Next big expense is travel.
Yes.
Transport. Right?
Yes.
आपका office कितना दूर है इधर से?
I pay 200 rupees per day to and fro.
And how often do you have to go to office?
all 5 days in a week.
So around 4,000 to 5,000
in a month. Yeah.
What are some other areas of expense which is like a big category for you?
So I travel very frequently to my hometown, Lucknow, because my mother stays alone there with my brother. So that at times becomes thrice a month. On an average, it's twice a month. And every time I travel, I end up spending 3,000 on my tickets. And because I go back home, so of course there's a little splurging there. So roughly about 10,000 उधर खर्च हो जाता है. So roughly about 13,000-14,000 रुपए is my one trip to back home.
Okay, one trip back home, and आप बोल रहे हो ऐसे महीने के 2 या 3
trips
हो जाते हैं. तो around 30,000 safe to assume is your home expense, and that makes sense. If you're going there and spending time with your family, थोड़ा बहुत खर्चा तो हो जाता है. If I look at the 3 main heads, housing, travel and food, in your case, the total expense is around 33,000, which comes to around less than 30% of your income, which is very safe. कोई वो नहीं है. But if we include the 30,000 rupees which you spend on traveling back home, then that amount becomes around 63,000, which is more around 60% of your income.
Yeah.
So the essential expense ratio is around 60%. It is on the higher side, but at the same time, you still have control over that expense. ठीक है, वो जो 30,000 है, वो 30,000 को you can take it down to 20,000 or 15,000, right? क्योंकि आप travel का खर्चा कम नहीं कर सकते, but आप उधर जाके जो splurge कर रहे हो, उसको आप कम कर सकते हो.
Correct.
ठीक है, so your expenses, what I like is your expenses are in your control. Are you also taking care of your family?
Yes. So
okay, so how much money do you send back home?
Roughly about 25,000, but it's not the money which is utilized every month. At times that money is also accumulated and used for bigger purchases, like buying a television or buying any home appliance. We got our house renovated because I was thinking of getting married. So it's not money that gets spent every month. It's the money that is saved every month for home expense.
So in your case, there are 4 major essential heads. One is your accommodation.
Yeah.
The second is your food expenses over here. Third is you traveling. And the fourth expense is the money that you send back home.
Yeah.
Right? वो amount बन के आता है करीब 55 to 58,000 rupees.
Yeah.
ठीक है? Which is less than 50% of your income. So
Yeah.
that way, if we analyze your essential expenses, they are under control. So that way you are doing good. Tell me one thing. आपका 58,000 इधर गया, फिर बाद में आप घर जाते हो तो उसमें भी 30,000, so 88,000 हो गए. Are you able to save in a month?
Yes.
कितना सेव हो जाता है? सेव या इन्वेस्ट कितना बच कितना जाता है?
इन्वेस्ट करता हूँ मैं रफली अबाउट 20,000 every month.
Is it automated?
It's automated.
तो पैसा हर महीने सीधा ऑटो डेबिट होकर चल जाता है.
हाँ.
20,000 आप सेव कर इन्वेस्ट करते हो, ठीक है. नेक्स्ट इज टर्म इंश्योरेंस, बिकॉज यू आर टेकिंग केयर ऑफ योर फैमिली, राइट? यू हैव रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटीज. इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट दैट यू आर इंश्योर्ड. सो डू यू हैव अ टर्म इंश्योरेंस प्लान?
Yes, I do.
कितने का है?
2 करोड़ का.
2 करोड़ का है. कितना पे कर रहे हो?
32,000 per year.
आपके एज के लिए वो थोड़ा ज्यादा है.
हाँ.
तो क्यों है ज्यादा?
I think I've done there has been a small group up there. So I smoke, right? And of course, while term insurance, your whole body checkup happens and your premium shoots up if you have been smoking in your life. So if I have to give you a small comparison, right? I'm paying 32,000 for the same term insurance for which any other person who has non-smoker lungs and has never smoked in their life would be paying 20,000 for the same value. So I am paying a premium of 11,000 rupees for smoking.
But आपको अगर you still have to disclose it.
Yes, you have to disclose
करोगे
it.
तो please guys, if anyone is smoking, please disclose it, ठीक है? And a lot of people talk about the hazards of smoking health wise, ठीक है? But there are financial hazards as well, right? इन्होंने बोला 11,000 रुपए साल का वो एक्स्ट्रा दे रहा है एज कम्पेयर टू अ नॉन स्मोकर. तो अभी तक तो आपका सब कुछ फाइनेंशियली सॉर्टेड ही लग रहा है, राइट? योर इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर ऑटोमेटेड. इन्वेस्टमेंट्स में एक चीज़ है, 20% ट्राई करो आप ऑटोमेट करो. सो अकॉर्डिंग टू योर करंट इनकम 137K आपका होना चाहिए करीब 27-28 हज़ार रुपये. अभी 20,000 है, तो वो आप ट्राई करो कहीं जोड़ जाड़ के 28,000 तक का आपका हो जाना चाहिए, राइट? तो आपके इन्वेस्टमेंट्स आर ऑटोमेटेड. यू हैव अ टर्म इंश्योरेंस फॉर योर सेल्फ, ऑल योर फैमिलीज, ऑलमोस्ट एवरीवन हैज़ अ हेल्थ इंश्योरेंस. आपके लायबिलिटीज़ कोई ऐसे नहीं है, ठीक है? आपका एसेंशियल एक्सपेंसेस भी कम है. तो क्या प्रॉब्लम क्या है? मतलब आपने मुझे बहुत दूर से बुलाया है, मैं बैंगलोर से आया हूँ.
Problem is, so there are 2 phases of spends or finances as I see it. One is planned, of course, जो मैंने plan किया हुआ है, health insurance, term insurance, investment, सब कुछ लगा रखा है. And the second is unplanned, right? So if I have to talk about it, a member of my family took some loans from these new age apps that you would have seen, right? You would give like 50,000 का loan, 1 lakh रुपए का loan, whatever. So that loan amount turned out to be about 2.5 lakhs with an interest of about 17-18%. And I'm paying it off. So there's no monthly EMI that sort of goes into that, but
अच्छा, मंथली EMI नहीं है उस लोन का?
नहीं, you can pay in lump sum. They keep adding interest, but I can choose to close that tomorrow, but I don't have that amount to close it tomorrow. So as and when I spare some money, I pay it off and try to bring down the principal amount.
गाइस, सबसे पहली चीज, ठीक है, आज के दिन एक्सेस टू क्रेडिट, द एक्सेस टू क्रेडिट इज एक्सट्रीमली हाई, ठीक है? हर दिन आपको कॉल्स आते होंगे कि आपको लोन मिला है, आपके नाम पे एक पर्सनल लोन सैंक्शन में 5 लाख, 6 लाख, 3 लाख के, ठीक है? जस्ट बिकॉज कंपनीज आर विलिंग टू पे यू मनी, गिव यू मनी, डजंट मीन दैट यू कैन एक्चुअली अफोर्ड दैट सम. तो एवर ही विदाउट एनी रीजन के लोन्स वगैरह मत लो, फंस जाओगे बिना बात के, ठीक है? कूल.
Second, I think, of course, is again, unplanned expense is all these. My family is dependent on me, right? So, phone टूट गया, मम्मी का, है ना? TV खराब हो गया, बड़े expenses, है ना? घर renovate होना है. अब मेरा emergency fund utilize हुआ था because I was planning to get married and then the house had to be renovated. So all of that. I have a pet dog, so उसका खाना पीना, all of that, which keeps fluctuating, right?
So I'm saying that there are a lot of places from where unplanned expenses can come.
Yeah.
Because you are responsible for multiple people in life. Fair. To answer your first question, which is about how do I have more control over my personal finances, this is something which I have been thinking since a long time. This is something which has been a part of my ethos. It's that housing or कार, ट्रैवल, ये 2 ऐसे चीज़ें हैं ना, ऐसे हेड्स है जिसमें आपके पास टोटल कंट्रोल है. बट इफ़ यू मेक डिसीजंस विच आर नॉट वेरी स्मार्ट, then you lose that control, right? Frugality, guys, gives you a lot of freedom. ये हो गया आपका first question. What are some other areas where I can help you?
एक और चीज मैंने भी रिसेंटली देखी थी, a friend of mine, I mean, I know even I can there. So we were discussing our personal finance, and he has an FD of a CR. Okay, on that he is earning about 7.5 lakhs per year.
Of course.
Right. So in a way, his home expenses, mother father care, everything is automated. It's all getting paid from the interest that he's earning for the money that he's put in the bank, and it's at the safest spot because it's a fixed deposit, so that money is not getting touched. What do you think about this strategy? So imagine maybe 3 years, 4 years, or 5 years down the line, I'm able to accumulate a CR or something, right? And I put it into a FD and I churn out interest from that. What do you think about this strategy? Does this work? Is it fruitful? Or should I buy a property of that 1 CR and a rental property of that 1 CR and try to generate rent from there and make that a recurring income?
We are not utilizing this 1 crore in the best way possible if we are, putting the entire amount in fixed deposits, right? I think you should take more risk, invest it in assets which will generate a higher return, so that it takes care of 2 things. Firstly, the withdrawal that you are doing, and at the same time, it is also beating inflation.
Yeah.
Right? अभी के केस में क्या हो रहा है? मतलब 1 करोड़ से 7.5 लाख आ रहा है, ठीक है, बट वो अमाउंट अब ग्रो नहीं होगा, पूरा का पूरा पैसा वापस आ रहा है. अब आज के दिन उनके जो एक्सपेंसेस है वो 7.5 लाख है, बट वही सेम लाइफस्टाइल 10 साल बाद इट्स एक्सपेंसेस विल बी अराउंड 10 लाख, 15 लाख, 20 लाख, ठीक है, फिर वो एफडी दे नहीं पाएगा.
Another thing that I've been thinking about is I've been working because I lost my father very early in my life, right? I was 16 at that point of time. Started working very early in my life. Very early in the sense, right after college, right? I haven't taken a break since then, since 2016. When I talk about a break, I'm talking about, let's say, a month off or 2 months off or traveling or whatever. For about a year now, I've been thinking of taking a break, right? To explore a couple of more things. But वो confidence नहीं आता है मेरे अंदर break लेने का for 2 reasons. One is मेरे को डर लगता है कि यार मैं 3 महीने का break लूँगा. What if I'm not relevant after that? What if I'm not able to get a job as good as I'm doing right now, which pays me that well?
अगर आ रही है ना तो बहुत अच्छी बात है. This is the right question to have in mind. और ये anxiety ज़रूरी है. And मैं भी ऐसे ही सोचता हूँ. But yeah, you are correct. Next.
ठीक है, अब मेरा इमरजेंसी जो फंड है, राइट, वो 3 महीने का मैं ब्रेक लेता हूँ या 6 महीने का ब्रेक लेता हूँ, एंड आई एम हैप्पी टू मूव बैक टू माई हाउस, कट डाउन माई रेंटल एंड एवरीथिंग, मूव बैक टू सीतापुर, चिल देयर फॉर 3 months. बट उसके बाद भी आई विल एग्जॉस्ट व्हाटएवर इमरजेंसी फंड दैट आई हैव, राइट? सो 2 things. एक तो जॉब मिलना बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट हो जाएगा 3 महीने बाद, देन आई विल बी ना डू और डाई वाला सिचुएशन कि भाई चाहिए ही चाहिए, अर्जेंसी आ जाएगी. एंड देन द सेम पहला जो बोला था, खुदा ना खास्ता कुछ अनफोर्सीन एक्सपेंस आ गया, maybe in terms of health, maybe in terms of some household expense, तो वो एक confidence मेरे अंदर नहीं रहता because of obvious reasons. So, and I know it's draining me also not taking a break, right? I need to evolve. Marketing का scene यही है कि you need to have creative thoughts getting channelized, and you need to give yourself break to learn, to see, to breathe, to absorb, to create more. And I've been thinking about it, but haven't been able to. So, what's your suggestion on this?
You have to cut back. You have to go back a few steps for the next 5-6 months. Save up aggressively, and then take that break. One thing, like you said, right? You are 100% responsible for all your family, for your entire family, right? तो उस केस में firstly 3 महीने का जो emergency fund है, वो I think थोड़ा कम है, ठीक है? Because like you said, कुछ भी खर्चा आ सकता है, and I have to be prepared. So that way 3 महीने का 6 महीना करना पड़ेगा, ठीक है? ये एक चीज होगी, उससे ना आपको कॉन्फिडेंस आएगा, क्योंकि करंटली आपकी इनकम 1.37 लाख है, आपका इमरजेंसी फंड कितना होगा? 2.5 लाख. तो ये जो 2.5 लाख को आप कैसे 5 लाख कर सकते हो या 4 लाख कर सकते हो अगले 6 महीने में, वो आप सोचो. बिकॉज लाइक यू सेड, मार्केटिंग में इवॉल्व नहीं होगे तो आपका करियर इवेंचुअली ऑफ कोर्स इस इम्पैक्ट अफेक्ट करेगा ही. एंड इन योर केस यू डोंट हैव अ ट्रेडिशनल मार्केटिंग डिग्री, तो आपका जो पूरा जो आपका क्रेडिबिलिटी है, इट्स ऑल बेस्ड अपॉन व्हाट यू ब्रिंग टू द वर्क, प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क. वो प्रूफ ऑफ वर्क अगर आपका इम्पैक्ट हो रहा है बिकॉज ऑफ you know, your inability to take a break, then you have to take a break. You have to take a break. उसके लिए आप ये करो कि आप जो एक one big head that I can see कि आप अभी के अभी वो खर्चा कम कर सकते हो is your splurging when you go
back home.
30,000 का 15 करो, वो 15,000 आपके emergency kitty में जाओ या फिर break kitty में जाओ. उसके बाद ब्रेक ले सको. आपको लेना पड़ेगा ब्रेक. तो ये हमारा फटाफट फाइनेंस राउंड है. आपको जल्द से जल्द क्वेश्चन के आंसर देना. सबसे पहला क्वेश्चन, यू टेक द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ योर एंटायर फैमिली, ठीक है, बट इफ यू हैड द अनलिमिटेड बजट टू गिव समथिंग टू योरसेल्फ, अनलिमिटेड बजट, व्हाट वुड इट बी?
I would buy a complex or a mall and make money from that and buy myself everything else that I need.
अरे बहुत सही. If you had an unlimited budget to give something to your family, what would it be?
It'll be a big lavish house with a good car.
Fair. Since you said lavish house, right? If you had to choose between a lavish house or a luxurious vacation every year, one luxurious vacation every year, what would it be?
A lavish house.
If money was out of consideration, what would you do for a living?
I would travel places and probably make content.
And the last question is, after this conversation, what are the 3 steps that you will take to be more financially secure?
Strengthen my emergency fund so that I can take the much needed break. Get my brother a health insurance, which has been pending for a while. And the third one is invest in debt funds and not put all of my money in equity, especially when it comes to emergency funds, because what if the same crash like 2008 happens, right? And I end up losing. So yeah.
Cool. I think तीनों learnings काफ़ी सही है. But thank you so much for doing this. Thank you so much for watching the video. अगर आपको इस वीडियो में कुछ भी अच्छा लगा, do hit the like button. Special thanks to Ditto for sponsoring this video. And 85% of the people who watch these videos देखते हैं but subscribe नहीं करते. Guys, please subscribe. Your love and support will keep me motivated. Keep me and the entire team motivated. Goodbye and see you guys next time.
Like, share and subscribe.